If you're a fan of the Ghostbusters, and come on, seriously, who isn't? You're probably familiar with the Activision game that was on just about every single platform known to man in the 1980s. But what most people don't realize is that Sega made an original Ghostbusters game in 1990, and it gave everybody what they wanted from the series in the first place. A badass run and gun. Developed by Compile, of Musha fame, this version of Ghostbusters is interesting because most people don't even know it exists. It's never been ported or appeared on any digital download service. I guess you could say that, in some ways, it's the Forgotten Ghostbusters game. I originally played this version of Ghostbusters around when it was released, and then I sold it off telling myself that I didn't like it or something. I mean, I'd actually forgotten that I'd even played it. And then one day, I stumbled across it, and then I knew that I had to give it another shot. The story here is actually an original one, set shortly after the events of the movie. Peter, Ray, and Egon are once again down on their luck. I guess the goodwill of saving the world didn't go far. Lo and behold, a random earthquake shakes something loose in the depths of New York City, and once again we're teetering on the edge of a disaster of biblical proportions. Your first order of business is to choose your character. The gang's all here. Hey, wait, where's Winston? For some reason, Mr. Zedmore is completely excluded. I guess it might have to do with each character having two stats, speed and stamina. Adding in a fourth character would either make him the absolute best or the absolute worst player choice in the game. I gotta admit, the defining aesthetic of this game, as you've probably noticed, is the characters' enormous heads. I mean, they're huge, gigantic, but they look awesome. Like the Activision version before it, we're faced with a map screen after the initial story setup, but in this case, you just choose one of 4 levels and then head on over there. You've got Home Sweet Home, the apartment, the Woody house, and the high-rise. The owner of the high-rise penthouse is afraid that the paranormal activity will affect your resale price. I hate to break it to you, lady, but these rooms filled with water already did that. And once you reach the roof, you can relax. You've made it. It's getting some fresh air after a hard day's work. After beating the initial 4 levels, the other 2 characters get kidnapped and taken to the castle at the far edge of the city. Cue the obvious plot twist. But what I didn't really see coming was this huge hole to hell opening up in the middle of NYC, undoubtedly killing hundreds of thousands of people. For a run and gun, the level layouts are a bit more wide open and non-linear than you'd expect. You fight your way through each level looking for a set number of mid-ghosts. After trapping them in classic Ghostbusters form, you move on to the boss ghost. Each level has no less than 2 mid-ghosts to catch, and having these kinda makes the game feel like a boss rush. Each case nets you some cash to spend on different items, like a 3-way shot or a barrier to reduce damage. Luckily, there are several life and health refills delivered by our old friend Slimer throughout each level. I mean, it wouldn't be a Ghostbusters game without him, right? Hey, thanks. But if you need to get a bit more serious with life recovery, you can always buy some food from the local Chinese takeout, like this Peking duck. Oh, this Chinese restaurant also sells night vision goggles and bombs. Wait, bombs? Seriously, bombs work on ghosts? Who knew? Naturally, the requisite Ghostbusters theme does make an appearance, and it sounds good. The rest of the tunes are fairly upbeat and catchy too, tapping into the sense of fun the movie had with its soundtrack. The pause music is especially great. I must say that the years have been kind to the Genesis version of Ghostbusters, and I'm not afraid to admit that I was completely wrong about it when I was a kid, and it's way better than I remember it being. It's just too bad that it remains largely obscure. It's weird that it even exists. I mean, at least it's weird to me. But if you didn't know about it before, now you do, and you should definitely check it out if you have a chance.